Hey y'all!
Hi.
Welcome to All Things Cam and K movie review. The last review we've done was All the Queen's Men,
All the Queen's Men.
and we can't wait for season 2.
And we want to say
Hi, Christian. All
But
right.
anyway.
So this go around, we are doing the Netflix hit movie. It's number one currently.
Yes.
It just came out a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
The Harder They Fall.
Honey. The harder they fall. The harder they fall. We ain't got no.
Right.
But let me tell you about The Harder They Fall. I mean, where could we even start with this?
First of all, I want to start with that dope A soundtrack.
Girl.
They even got my girl, like I know her, but Miss L Boogie.
L Boogie on
They done brought her out
back
and were like, we need you to spit on this.
And she was like, spit, 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 spit.
And the song I keep listening to her over and over again on Amazon. Black Woman.
Well, if we're gonna go down the road of the songs, we have a list here, honey. The music, I may leave a couple people out, but it's okay. They had Kid Cudi, Jay-Z. They had Fatoumata Diawara and Miss Lauryn Hill. Seal. Jadakiss.
I like Jadakiss.
Conway the Machine.
CeeLo Green. His song was dope too.
Yes. And
Alice Smith.
I think we really liked it because it was reggae mixed with country, mixed with every kind of music genre. So we want to say
was just fire.
A shout out to James Samuel, because James Samuel,
right?
He was the writer, but he's a singer and a songwriter from the United Kingdom. So shout out to you on this. I don't know if you've done other films
too.
I think so.
Yeah, he directed it as well.
And the cinematographer was Mihai Malamir Jr.
Black?
Yeah.
Okay, a black DP?
All of it. So we are so proud of this movie. So proud. I mean, the storyline. Whoever wrote this,
it was phenomenal. Even though, like they said in the beginning, the story was fictional, but the actual characters were real people
from the Wild Wild West. The Wild Wild
West. I used to live downtown, down 49th Street. I don't know that, but that was my
that was
Kumo D. Okay. But yeah, it was wow. It was good.
The only little controversy was about the fact that it was a fictional story, but had real characters, which means they were people who were represented that did exist. They just took all of them, stuck them together, and made a bad story. So one of the things that we had a problem with, and I say we because we go we. I shout out with we, and we had a story on this on we had a
Car
Chronicles on this about colorism. And so of course I was kind of like, well, because that's what they do with the cast. But then when Kay brought it to my attention that they were real people, well, if they're real people, then you need to show them how they really are. So for that, I love you, sister girl. You did your thing. What was her name? Zazie. You played her, okay? But it would have really been nice to see a full-figured, beautiful brown sister, which she was, play that role in this series.
And you can hear more about that on our Car Chronicles. Yep.
So,
but overall, it was good. Everybody did their thing. Let's just run down the characters, the people who was in this. Idris Elba. Still fine.
Yes. Even though he married, but it's okay.
Rufus Buck.
Buck. That's who Idris played.
And then Zazie, I think you pronounce her last name Betts or Beats.
Well, in order to, maybe she's related to Swiss Beats, Zazie Beats, but okay, Zazie Betts.
Yeah,
we don't know which one.
Stagecoach Mary,
and you played the hell out of that role though.
She's a good actress.
I really enjoyed it.
But yeah, she's a good actress. Regina King played Trudy Smith.
Yes, and she was a bad.
Of course, I mean anything that Regina is in, come on, it's gonna be fine.
I like when she do that stare. She be like.
Now I like the diction and her accent. Yeah, what she was using
because it made her different. She became the character. Regina, you did your thing. I'm glad you did the research, and I just love that you played it in a different way that I have never seen you before. With the you're always well spoken, but with the accent, it was like you were just total badass.
And Nat Love was played by Jonathan Majors. Cam brought it to my attention that he was in Lovecraft Country. I didn't see that, but I did see some of the other things that he was in.
You're a phenomenal actor. He's a great actor.
Really good. And then of course, one of my favorites, quickly becoming like one of my top 10 or top 5 black male actors.
5.
Lakeith Stanfield.
Lakeith, say it one more time.
Lakeith. He is just very versatile. He can play comedy. He can play serious. He's just great.
And when Lakeith, when he plays, I believe him. No matter what he plays, I believe him.
No matter what.
Not because he's attractive, but because he plays the role.
He embodies whomever he plays. I can't wait till Atlanta comes back, if it comes back. But he's really good.
Go on, Lakeith.
And then we had CJ Seiler, who played Jim Beckworth.
Mm-hmm.
So he was part of the Nat Love gang.
The Nat Love.
I think he was the one that he was the fastest one.
Who was it? What's his name?
He played Jim.
Oh, Jim Beckworth.
Yeah.
R.J. Seiler. I loved your character. You was fast talking. You was just everything. The cast again is just like so fire. And Lakeith played Cherokee Bill. I didn't like your character, so that means you did a good job because
he did a great job.
You were ugly. You were right there behind Idris. You were right there behind Rufus Buck.
Yeah. And then we have one of the greats that's been in the game for years. He's very versatile too. Everybody is versatile, but I just love him. Delroy Lindo. Love him. He played the Marshal, Bass Reeves.
And I love his voice. His voice is just like, oh. If I was like his age and he spoke to me, I'd be like,
the panties coming off.
I don't know about that because you got to wake up to the face. Not saying that he's not an attractive brother, but no, still look at him like the grandfather. He didn't, he looks like a.
No, you said if he was his age.
I still would look at him like he was. We're just being silly. Don't mind me. He rocks. You are an excellent actor. I love you and everything you're in.
And then we have Danielle. I'm just gonna say her first name, Danielle. She played
Cuffy.
Cuffy, right? Was it Cuffy?
I thought it was. She played Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy Williams.
But they did call her. She played the mess out of that role. I was like, yes.
She did.
Yes.
And then we had Eddie. I'm not even gonna butcher these people's last names. I'm just gonna say Eddie. He played Bill Pickett. Now, I was glad to see him because I am a Twihard. I love the whole Twilight series. And he played, for my fellow Twilighters out there, he played, I forgot the name of his character, but he played in Twilight. He was the only black vampire there. So I'm so glad that he got a role in this. Deon Cole with his crazy self.
Yes.
He was Wiley Esco.
And they keep saying that Laz Alonso was in there on the thing, but I don't remember seeing him.
If you remember seeing Laz Alonso, please let us know in the comments because I don't remember seing him.
I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Then we had a Mustafa. Then we had Woody McCain.
Woody.
And then we had other people, and then Damon Wayans Jr. His role was good too.
Yeah, he was funny.
So that was the cast.
So that goes to show it is a all-star cast. If you have not seen this movie, you will love it from the cast, from the characters, from the writing
Yes.
to the they had the James. Well, I have to say his name. No. James Samuel.
Okay.
He said that when he was writing it, he heard the music in his head. So as he was writing it, he just put it all together at one time. The music is,
and you can tell, like, normally when somebody's an artist too, and they're doing like a movie or whatever, you can tell that that's their other passion too, because the music, they're gonna make sure that it's dope, and it was. The soundtrack is hitting.
He's a creative, honey. You create, brother. You create.
Yes.
Another thing that I loved was how the music had a mixture. It was from country. It was the prairie music. It was a do 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 do. It was from hip hop to reggae to just Jamaica, man. It was just like everything. Mm-hmm. It was dope.
Yeah, it was dope. Yeah. So, okay. What was your biggest, before we get into like the meat, what was your biggest takeaway from the movie?
Well, I am not my brother's keeper. I was really looking in this movie, looking for continuity and different things. That church was the cleanest church that I have ever seen in the West. There was not a dust on the floor, nothing. The only thing that was on there was the blood that was splattered when the guy got killed. If I had a life lesson to take away from this movie, it would be nothing. It was just entertaining.
Yeah. Because now we're in a workshop, a filmmaking workshop, and I start to look at things just a little bit more differently, as I'm learning about different things, and because like with the sets, like you could tell
that it was a set.
You could tell it was a set.
Yeah.
But it didn't bother me.
It didn't bother you because the storyline was so tight and so real. It didn't make, if it was not a good screenplay or a movie or whatever you want to call it, if it wasn't that, you would have been really focused on all the things that were wrong. What I loved was the continuity was right. Everything was right. The hair was right. And I love the fact that Regina King had braids. And I was like, yeah, sister, yeah. She didn't have on no long, she had braids to represent us. And I thought that was dope that she had braids. And I thought that it was cool that Stagecoach Mary had natural hair. I just love how we were represented in this movie. Just overall, I really, 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 really did like it.
I know it was your typical Western, but I did hate the fact, like, why we gotta kill each other,
right?
But
it's boys and
it's your typical, Western, but it was good. Now, did you? We're not gonna reveal it just yet, but was the twist a true twist for you? Or did you kind of suspect it at some point?
I didn't know why. No, it wasn't. Because I didn't know why he spared him. I kept saying, why would he? But I was like, well, maybe he just had a heart. Which
right.
Didn't. But I did want to bring up this one point that I wrote down. The irony of Maysville, it was an all-white town. Mm-hmm. But when they went into Maysville, everything was whitewashed. From the buildings to the bank. Mm-hmm. Everybody in Mayville was Caucasian, but every place in that town was whitewashed white. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was kind of like the irony of the color. in one scene, it was a bank robbery, and she went in and she told him, and she laughed at her and said, "Ha ha ha! You don't have no money in this bank," to be degrading and everything. So,
I mean, but I know she didn't, because it was a white town. So you see a black face, she was like,
so that means
you don't have no account here.
I know, but that just means you were dumb, because you should have never let them in the bank when you know they ain't have no money there. Duh. But yeah, I thought that was a bit of irony. And I love when they were about to go do something that the brothers got together and they started singing the song about no fear. Mm-hmm. And they know what they had to do. They know they were going to stick together, but he just went back to back to the times where we've sung as a people, no fear. That's how we've gotten through things. And I love that they brought that element into that scene where they sung no fear, and even the tender moments that Nat Love had with his woman, he sung to her. And I thought that was really a softer side, considering all the things that he had been through. Because his parents were murdered when he was a child.
Right in front of his eyes. Mm-hmm. Right in front. That was that Michael Beach, his daddy? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
was like, God, wait until he said, okay.
See, I immediately go to Lean on Me.
Or I go in the Soul Food. Loving you is like food too. Okay, Soul Food.
Like I said, the whole setup, it was just, it drew you in, you know, from, because in the beginning, I was like, is this Idris? I'm like, what? Is he about to kill these people?
Right. And when they brought it all back around, he was just a very heartbroken young man.
Yes.
I mean,
and you understood. You don't agree, but you understood why he did
it. And I'm glad that they brought that about. So if I had a moral of the story, it would be, a lot of times in life, people will start a family and have a family. When that don't work out, they just move on to the next family, and they forget that they ever had kids or anything. And I think that's the moral of the story, is when you leave people behind and you don't take care of them the right way, you leave damaged people. Mm-hmm. So when you leave damaged people, you don't know who they're going to become, because Idris was a damaged little boy who saw his mother mistreated, who saw her beaten, who saw her killed in front of him. So he grew up to be a heartless person who searched the whole world over to find the person who did this to his mother, that left her. And then when he finally found him, which was his father, he had moved on, got a new life,
new family,
new wife,
sobered up and
treating him
cleaned
good,
himself up.
But he never went back to rectify what he left behind.
He's supposed to be he was like a preacher or something like that.
He's supposed to be a man of God.
He's supposed to. That's your blood. That's your son. That's your firstborn. You go see about him.
So that was
make amends.
Mm-hmm. So that was to me the story in a nutshell. Is you can't have seed. How can you have a seed or a son or a daughter or anyone, and you have them and you leave them behind, and all that people do in life? Oh, I can't get along with the mother and all that. Work it. If you can't, I know some extreme situations where people are beaten and different things, and you got to do what you got to do. But if you get yourself together and you are the beater, at least try to go back and apologize and make an amends, just so your child can be whole. And if you can't get yourself together, stay away.
Yeah. So what was the part of the movie what was your favorite part? What stood out to you?
I love the family that each gang had with each other, that they all were willing to stick together. I just hate that it was miscommunication. I think that Rufus had the right idea as far as building the community, getting them together and making sure that that town has sustainability as far as a Black community, but he went about it wrong.
Yeah, he did.
He
wanted
incited
the money,
fear, trying to dog people,
trying to cheat them. Yeah.
He was trying to be a dictator.
Yes.
You can't be a dictator when you ain't made the money and trying to, this is our town, but you were really just being a bully.
Yes, and you were pretty much doing what the white man has been doing.
Except for you just had a black face.
So yeah, I didn't. That wasn't like a Killmonger moment, because like in Black Panther, Killmonger, he has some good points.
He did.
But with Rufus Buck, no,
he had no
points.
Just
a criminal.
The only great part about him was that he was not willing to kill his brother. For whatever reason, he did have it in his heart, like, I'm not going to do this.
And I think my favorite part was that scene between Nat and Rufus. How he was telling him about his upbringing, and then he revealed to him, like, that was his father, like, your father is my father. And he said, you're going to surpass me. He said, I might be this and that. He said, you're going to surpass me. He said, because I couldn't kill my brother. I was like, dang.
That was deep.
That was.
And then he turned around and killed him anyway. Hurt as a mother. Because I think at one point,
he was like, I couldn't kill my brother.
He explained to him why he did what he did. But he killed him because he killed his mama. And it's just something about your mama. And that's the part that Nat could not get over, was you killed his mama. He wasn't like, oh, you killed your daddy. Okay, I can understand that you killed daddy. Okay, he might have deserved it because he did you wrong. He did your mother wrong. But he could not. But he killed his mother because he wanted to hurt the daddy. Yeah. He knew that he wanted his father to see that I took the one thing away from you that you love in front of you before you died. So that was the last thing he saw. So all of that had nothing to do with her. It had everything to do with hurting the father. He let the brother live because he knew that was his brother. He wasn't going to kill him, but he wanted him to come back and get him, I think, when he put that
he marked him. He marked him so he know that was him.
I think he wanted him to come back and get him. I think at that point in time, he was so horrible. He probably was tired of he was tired.
Yeah, and I think and at that moment, Nat's character like changed for it went dark.
He lost it.
Because he tried to do good pretty much. But up until that moment, like I said, when Rufus was like, you're gonna surpass me because I couldn't kill my brother. He knew he was gonna kill him.
And he told him his real name. Your name ain't no love. Your name ain't no love, dude. You a buck. You a buck just like me. And so that's what really hurt Nat Love, because he was like, no, I'm not a monster. But he was showing him that you are a monster.
Your daddy was a monster. Your big brother was a monster. And it's in you, boo.
And you gonna be a monster too. And he was right to a certain degree because he killed his behind.
He did.
He kept
doing it though,
because he felt like, I think if he killed him, he would kill the monster that was in him too. But that didn't happen. No. Oh, but the one thing that I did like was the unsung love story that they never tapped into between Regina King and Idris Elba. You could tell she really did love. What was her name? Book. Trudy loved Buck. And they didn't really show them all intimate and stuff because Buck was like, kind of standoffish, but they ain't say she ain't getting that on the back. But she loved Buck. And I think that at the end they show her hat. And I think that it's gonna be a part 2 because I think Trudy is gonna go after the people who denied her the love, because she kept telling Buck, I got you. No matter what, I got you. But he trusted her with everything, because when he had went to jail, he trusted her to lead the gangs, go rob us, because he knew that she would do what she was supposed to do and bring that money back to him. That's another word for pimping too. But yeah, she loved him. And then when she died, she was hurt. That was her boo.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, but it is. I believe they're banking on a part 2, of course.
I'd watch it.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it was just, it had comedy in it. I'm a crybaby, so I shedded a tear.
Oh,
Between that scene between Idris and Nat, Buck and I mean Buck, Rufus and Nat, that whole
no, it was
scene,
hurtful because
yeah,
it was like,
I was
dang, it was your brother. But see, that just goes to show that they didn't grow up together. He felt no connection to him whatsoever. The only thing he felt was, you killed my mother.
That's true.
And you killed my father. So if you are that big of a monster, then you are no brother of mine.
That's true. And he was hunting him down because he knew that's who killed his parents. So,
and his mother, she was nothing but a beautiful flower. Who took herself and she changed his father, and that's what made him turn to Buddy Love. No, it wasn't Buddy Love.
So we're not gonna be before our reviews are normally like 30 minutes or so. Anything else you want to say about the movie?
I loved it. I think you need to go see it. I think it's something that,
well, hopefully they've seen it because there's a whole bunch of spoilers. So hopefully y'all have seen it already.
You should have, because when I was on Facebook, everybody was talking about this movie. So you should have seen it if you haven't seen it by now. And if you haven't, pause. I should have said it. But if you have seen the movie and you've watched this, leave your comment below. And if you want to talk about this some more, you can please email us at allthingscamandk@gmail.com or leave a comment below.
Yes. And I think another thing I want to probably review would be Colin in Black and White.
I saw that preview. I was like, I think it'll be excellent because so many people have so much misconstrued information about who he really is. So I think it is very important that he comes out with this documentary to show who he is.
Well, it's a limited series.
Oh, is it a limited series?
It's a limited series, even though it's a limited series.
I'm gonna watch it.
And Ava DuVernay, love her.
Ava, I'm gonna watch it.
So yeah, y'all. The harder they fall. The harder they fall. It is great. I give it 2 thumbs, of course. 2 thumbs and 2 toes.
I give it 2 thumbs and 10 toes. No. So Rotten Tomatoes also does agree with us. They gave it 86%.
Oh.
But the audience score, which is the people who were talking, gave it 93%.
Okay.
So with that being said, go watch it.
Yes. Support Black content.
Yes.
Support it.
And if you are a Black content writer, just remember all things Cam and K, because we'll be working on some things and we want to bring them to you. So support us, because we support our people.
We do.
And you are our people. So support us.
Support us, please.
Please.
That's my little, I don't know what type of accent that was.
It was an accent though.
All right. All right. Till the next time.
Bye.